What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Two Game Podcast. I am here to review the first full season of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is an animated series that you can find on Disney+. If you have not watched the entire first season, I highly recommend pausing this, coming back for it, because there will be full spoilers from this point forward. And let me just get it out of the way right now. I think you can put this up there with some of the best animated series of all time. Just right out the gate with first 10 episodes. I absolutely loved season 1 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. This to me is what Marvel needs to keep doing. We need more TV series, more animated series on some of these comic book characters that we love. I loved every minute of this series. Now, the first 2 episodes, we kind of did a review on that, and I think the show gets better after the first 2 episodes. I ended up rewatching the first 2 episodes, and I felt like it was a little bit slower, but you need those first 2 episodes in order for the other 8 to really hit home. And now, some people are going to say that they didn't like the gender swapping or the changes of the characters. And you know what? I don't really give a shit, okay? I want good characters. And to me, they have done that with season 1. I like a lot of the changes. I don't know of a change that I just absolutely dislike. They did do the Doc Ock gender swapping with Dr. Connors, which I am very curious to know what they do with her going into season 2, which, speaking of which, I think once we have gotten through season 1 and we've gotten some of the characters, we got Scorpion, Doc Ock is waiting in the wings, and we had Doctor Strange come in the mix. We have what is potentially going to be Norman Osborn becoming the Green Goblin. I think they are setting this up for multiple seasons, and I can't freaking wait for it, because what they are doing here is they are setting up future seasons, potentially a Sinister Six kind of thing, and I hope they really can nail that moving forward. I thought the teases at the very end were great. I was not expecting the symbiote to find Norman Osborn, so I'm very curious to know if that's going to have a play with him becoming the Green Goblin, or if they're going to kind of go the route of the Marvel Spider-Man games, where it kind of turns him into Venom or his son, something like that. I don't want to say disappointed if that's what happens, but I'm going to be let down, because I feel like we've already just kind of got that storyline in those video games, and it was done fantastic. I love both of those Spider-Man games. I think they're absolutely fantastic. But I really hope we get a Green Goblin storyline, or maybe even a Hobgoblin storyline. You know, give me a good Sinister Six storyline where we're not leaving out one of the 6, or like in the movie. So I'm definitely excited about what this series has in store for it in season 2 and beyond. But let's talk about some of the characters first, because I think some of the character work that they have done over season 1 was really, really great. The stuff with Tombstone and Lonnie, I thought was done masterfully. At first, I was like, I like him. I wouldn't say that I'm absolutely in love with him. But what they were able to do over the course of the entire season, you kind of see his change from this happy-go-lucky football player that's all about school. He's intelligent and he'll do anything for his friends, and that kind of, they use that aspect of his character to turn him into Tombstone, aka the villain that he's going to end up becoming. And I thought that was done very, very well. And then we have Nico, and then we have Harry kind of joining the mix, and those interactions between them two, plus how they interact with Peter, and now they both know that he's Spider-Man. I think all that is absolutely great. I've really enjoyed what they did with Norman this season, because at first he seems like he's going to be that type of character that's going to be like the Tony Stark for this universe. You know, how he was for Tom Holland Spider-Man in those Spider-Man movies. It really seems like he's going to be kind of a mentor, but then you're like, nah, man, like, this is Norman Osborn. There's some inkling of him being a shit person somewhere in there, and you get little moments here and there throughout the season of where you're like, oh, dude, he is playing you, Spider-Man, playing you. And you can see him trying to mold Spider-Man into the Spider-Man that he wants him to be based off of his personality. And then I love how at the end of season 1, we get him finally kind of taking a stand and being like, I need to get away from Norman Osborn because that's not who I want to be. I do wish they would have hit that a little bit harder, honestly. I think they needed maybe a more dramatic moment of where Peter realizes that Norman is not the guy that he thinks he is. I understand we kind of had that moment at the very end in the last episode where he sees Norman wanting to open up these bridges to other universes. And I understand that, but I just wish they would have hit that a little bit harder and maybe had another moment or two where Peter's like, I don't know about this guy, but he's a friend, because that to me is one of the cool character traits of Spider-Man and Peter Parker. Like, he's gonna notice some things, but he's always gonna kind of deny it because he always tries to see the best in people. And especially if he considers them a friend, he's gonna try to talk himself out of them being bad. And I wish they would have hit that a little bit harder throughout this season. Now, some of the cameos were fantastic. We have Daredevil, which they have the Netflix Daredevil theme song playing in the background, which was so damn good. I loved that. And I was not expecting Daredevil to show up in this season. He was a welcomed addition for sure. So I'm very curious to know how he plays into subsequent seasons, because if we're being honest, he should 100% show up in this series for sure. And then we have Doctor Strange, which I was not expecting this kind of loop to the first episode where he kind of turns back the past and that's how Peter gets bitten. That was pretty cool. I was not expecting that. I thought that was a nice little change of pace, unpredictability, and the stuff with Doctor Strange was great. I thought his interactions with Peter, Spider-Man were really good. I hope we get more of those. And then we have Iron Man showing up for all of 5 seconds. And I mean, it was cool. I want more of it, honestly. And I know I make this huge complaint about Marvel, the MCU, and whatnot, of how do we really need character A showing up here and then having to watch this show and then having to watch this show in order to get his entire story. It's kind of like one of my big complaints of season 2 of Daredevil and then into the first part of season 3 was that you had to watch other shit in order to get what was going on. But this to me is how they should handle the interconnected universes. Drop Doctor Strange in the first episode. It seemed a little jarring at first because we only got like 2 seconds of him, and then we don't have like another episode with a character showing up in, I think it's like 3 or 4 episodes. That's when Daredevil shows up. So at first it seemed a little jarring. Now that we have seen the entire season, it makes sense, especially with him showing back up in episode 10. But that's how they need to handle this interconnected MCU. They need to just sprinkle in these characters. Yeah, have the interactions between these superheroes. Have them join the fights. That's all awesome. That's all cool. I'm definitely down for that. But once you start bringing in these characters and having full-on character development moments and moments that you have to go watch other shit in order to get the full picture, I think is a little bit of an issue. But I think they're able to handle that better with animated series versus live action. But I love how they handled the cameos this season, and it's just all of these characters coming together for the Spider-Man show is just so good. So good. And I can't wait for more of it. So overall, guys, I really loved what they did with Peter and Spider-Man. I loved all the quips, the jokes as Spider-Man. It got better as the season progressed, kind of like he was trying to find his footing. And then the moment that he puts on the quote unquote traditional Spider-Man outfit was just fucking chef's kiss. Speaking of which, we hadn't even talked about Scorpion, who I thought they did a great job of making him kind of the main villain, so to speak, over the course of 3 or 4 episodes. And the fact that he injures Spider-Man and then Spider-Man has a moment in the next episode where he has like this anxiety panic attack, I thought was done so well. And then he's able to find the strength to defeat Scorpion. I hope he comes back for season 2. Because I really liked what they did with Scorpion here. But yeah, those moments between Spider-Man and Scorpion was just fantastic. And that they were able to develop Spider-Man's character through that villain was even better. So yeah, guys, I absolutely loved season 1 of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I'm excited for season 2. What is going to happen with all these villains? We have the symbiote. We have Doc Ock getting his arms into the mix. We have potentially Scorpion and then potentially Green Goblin / Venom coming into the mix. So I am super excited for the future of this series, and I hope it continues. I really hope they can finish this storyline and give us just more of these characters, because I think they absolutely fucking nailed it. But guys, let me know down in the comments below of what you thought about season 1. What are some of your predictions for season 2? And let me know what some of your favorite moments of the season were. But guys, that is going to be it for me. I will catch y'all next time on another episode. Laters.